How to stay fit and focused during a job change. Hey guys, if you're going through a job change, you got to get after it. Let's go. This morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends, the new loop, the new week starts right now. Welcome to Mornings in the Lab where excuse
when something negative comes up.
Building muscle and peace, blood flow.
Nobody is expecting, John.
If the lady's saying that, you're just
Super
entertained by funds over here.
How have I slept? Has my sleep been good? Is that...
What's going on, everybody? We're happy. We're getting after. We're Monday. The confident host is here. The handsome chief is here. Hey, baby, you got the host, Keith Phillips. I'm the host. I'm that guy. John Andersen's over there. C. Marty Fit is over there. Go Canada. Go Canada. Yeah, we lost to the U.S. on Saturday, but we're just getting started, Marty. We got producer Jimmy on the buttons, baby. We got Walter in the community saying hello to all of you guys. On Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends, the only morning show for men. Listen, guys, we'd like to drop some bad words along the show here. So if you got kids in the room, I'd invite you to get them out. I got like the rap god this morning. Yeah, true story. Listen, we like to drop language that might offend the children. We like to have conversations that might offend the children. We like to have conversations that you might not be ready to have with the children. So, hey, walk them out of the room, put them in the earphones, or just, hey, invite them to a sex education class with Keith, John, and Marty. Producer Jimmy and the community dude Tommy this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Guys, we're going to get after today how to stay fit and focused during a job change. We got a guest coming up today as well. We got a guy who does this for, well, kind of a living. He does this more than I do, I think. Vern is joining us today. I got to get his name right. Vern Shurd is joining us here at Center Stage in about 12 minutes or so. Vern, looking forward to having you on the show. Welcome you in here. Jimmy! Let's bring the boys in. I got lots to talk about with the guys here today. What's up, Marty? What's up, Johnny? Yip. Let's go, boy. The loop is going, boys. Hungry. I'm ready to go. How are you guys today?
What's going on, man?
not moving that fast, but I'm good, baby.
Yeah, I got energy today, but this I think Keith took something else today that he don't usually take, John.
I know. So listen, boys.
That ain't coffee.
I had to get the Teflon on because I know Marty's going to be coming after me this morning. So I'm expecting some little dialogue around what happened Saturday night here in North America between a couple of hockey teams. And I got a text from Marty yesterday about what happened with Canada and the USA and some dropping gloves. And I saw that the USA won. And I know Marty's feeling pretty confident about himself because he's a big hockey fan here. So, but guys, good morning, Holroyd. Good morning, everybody this morning. How's my boys? Marty, Johnny, how are you guys today?
Good, baby.
Good, man.
Good,
man.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Hell yeah! It's another day, another loop, baby.
I'm feeling energized today. Had a great weekend. Had a wonderful weekend with my wife. Nice Valentine's weekend. Got a lot done. Had some nice food. Had some nice time together. Hung out with my kids. Oh man, had lots of time with the kids. Karts was over to watch a hockey game with me Saturday night. Piper's over to play some.
Oh man, he frees up again. Are you still here,
really
Mark?
Productive weekend, and I was excited to.
What you say? You said Piper came over to
I
play
didn't-
what?
You froze up, brother.
I'm not frozen over here. I don't know where Jimmy. Am I frozen? I don't think I'm frozen. But if I'm frozen, yeah. Anyways, I can see where it's kind of maybe freezing a little bit. Anyway, yeah. So Pipes came over, Karts came over. We had a good old time this weekend. So how about you guys, Johnny? How is Terry's shoulder?
She's definitely getting better. No question about it. She's almost got herself weaned off her pain pills, which is really good. She doesn't like that shit.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So that's been good. Yeah, I'm a little frustrated because I still haven't been able to ride, man. My shoulder has been still bugging me. God damn it. You know? I'm like so excited to get out there. You know, it's like, especially when the weather gets nice, it's so fun.
Yeah.
I just got to realize, I got to remember that
you have to accept it, brother. You have to accept it.
Well, I got a saying that I give myself because I like to, like when I push it too hard on anything, it's live to ride another day, train to, live to train another day. Because if I do, sometimes if I push the limits right now and I know I shouldn't, It'll take me out for weeks.
That's it.
Trading days for weeks. So I've been having to. I've been repeating that saying to myself a lot. Oh, I'll just go out and just kind of take it easy. No, that's not the way you do it.
No,
that's not the way you do it, bro.
And Marty, you'll learn as an umbrella guy. Tell you, man, because you're on the path like John. You're going to get older, Marty. I'm sorry to tell you, Marty. You're going to get older. You're going to end up like me.
I'm looking forward to it.
You're going to end up like me and the old dog one day, going, "Oh, I guess I got to take an extra day of rest and recovery. Oh, I got to go a little slower." And Johnny, we have to adjust. I know you hit another digit on the calendar last month. I'm hitting another digit on the calendar in a couple of weeks, and we just have to adapt, my brother. We just have to adapt. Good morning, Holroyd. Good to see you there. Toronto's getting a big dump of snow today. They don't know how to they're like Maryland, Marty. They don't know how to figure shit out when Toronto gets a bunch of snow. It's crazy, guys. I got a few fun things I want to pop on the table here this morning to kick the show off. Could you imagine could you imagine being in a canoe and getting swallowed by a whale?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't see this.
Yeah, I got a video here I want to drop here. And Johnny, we're not talking Moby Dick. No, we're talking real life. Jimmy, let's get this video rolling here, man. It's about, 10-second video here. A couple kayakers, I think in Indonesia, I think it was, Marty. A couple kayakers were out paddling away, and a whale swallowed the sun and then spit him out, Johnny. Marty, Jimmy, let's run the video, brother.
Yeah, I want to see this. Oh, Christ.
So the kayaker's gone, and then you keep watching, and then the kayaker appears again. So the kayaker's gone, the whale's underwater. Describing the video.
Hey!
Look.
Ya, vente. Tranquilo, agarra el bote, agárralo, tranquilo, agárralo. Agárralo, no te subas, agárralo. Tranquilo, agárralo. Agárralo, vete para la orilla.
Yes, there you go. There's a father and son out there
Tranquilo.
And
Ya voy.
Jimmy, let's kill it. Yeah, so there's a kayaker out there doing some kayaking, Johnny, and Dad and son were out there, and Dad was filming son, and whales were doing their thing in the water, and I guess the humpback went in and came up, and you happened to be in the way and swallowed the guy, and then it's actually a misnomer to say swallow, because a whale can't actually swallow a human, but it ended up in his mouth and then spit him out just like that. Crazy shit.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking nuts, dude.
When you saw it, Marty, what did you think?
Listen, if I was the guy recording, I would have been freaking out. I mean, he seemed pretty calm,
Yes.
Just think, like, you didn't know he was going to appear back up that fast, but that was insane. I'm wondering, has that happened before? Is that a thing?
No. So I did a little bit of research. Oh, speaking of research, boys, Perplexity AI released on Friday a deep research tool. Johnny, I didn't say deep cheeks. I said deep research. So, for example, I did a quick little test. I said, hey, do some deep research on men's health trends that are affecting men in 2025. It was like me giving an assistant. It went and dug into a bunch of science journals, science websites, took about 30 minutes, came back and spit out, Marty, this incredible fucking essay of information. I'm going to be using it on the show here. But then I did do some research about the whale eating the guy. And no, it's like a 1 in a billion chance where it would happen, right? Where you're in the water and all of a sudden, you're out there doing your thing and there's a whale just, you're kind of in a whale's mouth.
That's so
scary. And you could hear his dad yelling tranquilo, which is basically relax, settle down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, tranquilo. He was saying fucking settle down, relax. Yeah. Probably because he knew that the more scared he got, the whale was going to feel that energy and probably attack.
Yeah. Speaking of whales, and an unfortunate story I read over the weekend as well. Turks and Caicos, a lady lost two hands to a shark.
Oh my God!
Bit both her hands off. So I've been in the Turks, and we know there's the big. So I love sharks. I've swam with white sharks. I've been in a cage. I love sharks, and there's the big three: the white, the bull, and the tiger. Well, apparently, this lady was out in the water and got attacked by a shark, and she tried to bat it away, bit off both of her hands. Now I can't even it just wraps my head. I can't imagine walking around with two hands. That just really freaks me out. But anyway, so we're talking sharks, Marty.
I mean, Jesus Christ, what are the odds of that? I mean, because what are you going to do? A shark's coming at you. You got no other choice but to fucking try to push it away. All of a sudden, my hands are gone.
Johnny, I know.
I mean, talk about holy shit.
I know what you mean.
It's like, you whip it out to take a piss. Is what you got to do.
Yeah.
My dick's gone. What? Yeah. How did that happen?
Yeah.
It's like an instinct, and all of a sudden it disappears.
That's exactly. Hey Jimmy, there's another clip that Marty shared on Friday that we did not get to, and I want to run this clip about a new law.
I can't even remember what I said. Oh, yeah. I remember now. Yeah.
We had Jen Drummond on the show on Friday. That woman's a beast, man. We're going to get her back here in the coming weeks.
She's a beast.
Some crazy shit. But Jimmy, let's run this video that we shared on Friday about the new rules.
Is to call out the hypocrisy of particularly the state legislature when they bring forward bills to regulate women's bodies.
Now, there are exceptions to the proposed law, which include sperm donation, contraception, and members of the LGBTQ community. Men face a maximum $10,000 fine after the third offense if they have sex with a woman without the intention of conceiving a child.
Men have the same rights no matter where they go in the country. Women have rights based on where they live.
It just misses the most basic biological facts and leans in towards middle school humor.
Austin Beigel with End Abortion Ohio calls the proposal disrespectful to the pro-life community and a waste of state resources.
They have to review it when they file it. They're going to have to stick a legal team on it, wasting time on that and delaying other bills. Marty. That are trying to be reviewed as well.
ABC6 asking viewers about the proposal in an online poll. 26% said it's a good idea. 74% telling us it's a waste of time.
This may be considered a waste of money by
Marty,
some
why don't you summarize for myself and Johnny what the bill is all about?
Yeah, so I was gonna say you didn't even like.
No, I didn't set it up properly. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So it says Ohio lawmakers have proposed a new law that bans men from ejaculating without intent of conception.
Yeah.
Would fine men up to $10,000 per ejaculation.
So Johnny, if you're wasting the goo, you're gonna get fined $10,000.
Well, I mean. I guess first thing is I'd like to meet the task force that's actually going to try to enforce this.
Well, let's go.
I mean, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Fucking be, frequenting fucking people's bedrooms and bathrooms where they fucking jerk off? I mean, what the?
I got a bigger question. Don't we have more important things to do than worry about whether a man is using his sperm to conceive a human or using his sperm to not conceive a human? The fact that Johnny they put a bunch of folks together and said, hey, we're going to put a task force together to monitor rooms. Listen, it's one conversation we had a few weeks ago about soaking. Now they're going to talk about if you're jerking off in a cup and you're not using your sperm effectively, we're finding $10,000.
Check this out, brother. I've told this fucking weird as hell. So the total flip side of this, right?
Yes.
Terry just told me about this the other day. She's kind of spending time fucking doing a lot of nothing, and so she stumbles across this weird shit. So she's like, "Honey, you got to check this out."
Yeah.
Got to check this out. She finds this fucking guy. There's actually a documentary on him, so it wasn't just a social media scroll. She discovered him there, but this fucking guy has created. He's a sperm donor. And he has donated so much sperm that I believe in Denmark or someplace they've outlawed him because they're afraid that he's going to fucking start swaying the gene pool.
Yes, I've seen that, Johnny. There's actually a Netflix story about some guy too that had
fucking crazy, dude.
Like 1,100 kids or something. You're right, because
this guy's got like over 3,000.
Yeah, just dropping loads everywhere. Just dropping loads. Yeah, there you go. I'm just going to build my own community of Martys.
And she said what it came down to, he built such a perfect profile for a sperm donor that people were picking him.
Wow.
That makes sense. He just, because it's all about, you got to talk about who you are and blah, blah, blah. Well, he figured out what he needed to put in his profile so that women would pick him. Some of them, he inseminates just like over a drink. Others, he drops off the load at the sperm bank and people pick him, but they have records of this guy. They figured out over 3,000 kids.
Yeah, unbelievable to me. Unbelievable to me. Hey, you're hanging out with Keith, John, and Marty here, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Just getting into the morning loop, unpredictable conversation, leaning into current events, topics, and so forth, just to get you guys energized and get going throughout the day here. I see you in the comments, Obscure Ninja. Good to have you here as well. I would be screaming at the top of my lungs as well if I was swallowed by a whale. I think John and Marty would as well. I see a fit presenter. Good to have you here this morning in the lab. I also see you, Adam Holroyd, as well. Vern Shurd, I see you in the comment. I see you in the screen. Then we're going to get to you in a quick second here. We're going to do the accountability check-in. And then, boys, at the bottom of the hour, I got a little story to tell you guys about how I stayed fit and focused during a job change. We all know I lost my job a couple years back, and became kind of I was working my way towards being Husky Keith there, Marty. So I had to yeah. Your face. I had to figure shit out. So I'm going to share a little bit of that story because Johnny, I suspect you again. Look at the guys you work with. I gotta think it's a common theme, right? You go through a job change, you go through a life change, and all of a sudden you end up in the pantry. You end up on the couch. You end up depressed. You end up kind of just going in a direction where you don't want to end up. And next thing you know, days, weeks, months go by.
Are you talking about when I transitioned?
No, I'm talking about the men that you've worked with, Johnny. And maybe
yeah, 100%. It was a lot of times it's just like not even that there's a change. It's more of a realization. What the fuck happened to my life?
Yes, that's exactly it. So we're going to get to that at the bottom of the hour.
Can I throw something on the table real quick?
Please, Marty, yeah.
So I had a post a couple of days ago where I talked about this NBA player who fell off, let himself go.
Yeah.
Saw that,
yeah, I did.
Yeah. So all these men were like, he's stressed out. You've never been in the NBA. You don't understand. But, at the end of the day, like, we all go through shit. Men go through shit. It does not matter your profession. It doesn't matter what race you are, right? It comes down to your response to depression or, the anxiety or whatever it is. That's what it is.
Yes.
And the response is not to just get fat and it's okay. There's still type 2 diabetes and all the other shit that comes along with letting yourself go and getting obese. So
that's
I just wanted to throw that on the table. It made me think of that, Keith.
No, I'm with you, Marty. I'm with you. And it's funny you bring it up because, all jokes aside, we quickly talked about the hockey game on the weekend. The Canada-U.S. game started off with a couple big brawls. And Marty, the two brawls that started the fights were a couple of the Tkachuk boys. Their dad, Keith Tkachuk, played in Winnipeg for a number of years, a big superstar in the NHL. And not to belabor this, but Marty, he's grown into a man who is, how shall I say this, Marty? Far removed from the game. Hang on that one, if you know what I'm talking about. So
understood.
Yeah. He doesn't look like he played the game recently. All right, let's Jimmy, let's keep it rolling, man. We got a lot of energy here going on this morning. We're gonna get the accountability check-in. We're gonna bring Vern in, and we're gonna bring him back up the boards and have a conversation. Guys, listen. They don't tell you about self-improvement. No, you don't go to school about it. You don't learn it in university. I don't think mom and dad talk to us about self-improvement. Nope. But I'm going to tell you guys something. It will cost you relationships. Yep. True story. And it happens subtly. Before you know it, the people who used to be there for you, they don't show up anymore. The ones who used to check in, crickets. The invites stop. The texts dry up. Oh, that guy doesn't drink anymore. We're not inviting him to the party. Yeah. Stings like hell. You ask yourself, what did I do? Am I the problem? No, gentlemen, the problem is not you. The problem is you changed. The problem is you woke up and you said, yeah, I'm going in a different direction than those folks. They didn't change. Nope. Some people in your life, I'm going to tell you this right now, they don't know how to handle that. How do I know? Because I've been there. Baby, I've been through life changes. I've been through divorce changes. I've lost friends in my journey when I'm like, no, I'm going in this direction because that's the direction that's best for me. Because when you start setting different standards for yourself, Johnny talks about it, Marty talks about it, we talk about it all the time on this show. You set bigger goals. You set a higher effort. You're better disciplined. You're like, fuck it, I'm on a mission. Here's what happens, guys. You stop being relatable to the guys, to the women, to the family, to the friends that got you here. And then you recognize that, oh, I'm in a different place than them. It's not because you judge them, but because your presence makes them question their own choices. No, I'm not going to have a drink. Oh, are you an alcoholic? No, I just don't want to drink anymore. Oh, so then they look in the mirror going, oh, is it bad that I'm drinking? No. I'm just making a different choice. So they pull back. and you feel the difference. But gentlemen, let me invite you to consider this. Here's what matters. You're not just losing people, you're making room. Room for those who get it. You hear us talk about all the time, those who push you, those who hold you accountable when it gets hard. Because the right circle, gentlemen, won't feel threatened. They'll demand your growth. Losing people hurts. I know. I've been there. I've had people I've lost. But ignoring your potential just to keep them, that'll hurt a lot more in the long run. So ask yourself, who are you choosing before you move forward today? There's your accountability check-in on Mornings in Live with Keith and Friends. I see you, Cosmic. Yeah, that's why I don't hang out with anyone anymore. All my friends were losers. Hey, man, that's just sometimes what happens, right? They only call me when they need something. Yeah, so I don't know if I'd call those friends. And listen, I've been through that situation. You go through divorce, you make a change. You're like, I'm not drinking anymore. People are like, oh, I don't want to hang out with that guy because it's not fun anymore. Really? All right, see you later, pal. All right, listen, let's do this. Jimmy, let's, before we bring up Vern, I'm going to get to the intro here, and we're going to bring up Marty and Johnny. But bapl Nation, today we got a guest who wears more hats than most of us own. Well, I don't know about me. I got a lot of hats. Vern Shurd is a procurement pro. Marty and Johnny, I don't know any exciting dudes who work in procurement, so we're going to see how the next 10 minutes go. I've looked at a lot of procurement guys, and they're pretty dry, but I'm thinking Vern might be pretty fun. Anyways, he's a radio host by night and a financial strategist 24/7. He's built a career, business, and a roadmap to early retirement, all while spinning records. And Johnny, rescuing Greyhounds. This guy knows how to navigate change without losing control, whether it's shifting careers, planning for fire, or keeping your mind sharp when life throws you curveballs. Vern's got the playbook. Jimmy, let's bring him up on stage. Let's bring in Vern Shurd. Yeah.
What's up, Vern?
What's up, Vern? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. Can you guys hear me okay?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Gotcha.
What's going on, Vern? Where are you joining us from today, pal?
All right. Well, thanks for having me on. As you said, I'm kind of a Renaissance man. I do a little bit of everything, and I just figure in this world, you should be good at more than one thing because, as you said, life throws you curveballs, and that way you can always adapt and change as needed. You talked about earlier about, life throws you curveballs, and you may lose your job, you may do a career change, or you just may have a new job. And I think first and foremost, the main thing that you have to do is to make sure that you take some time off for yourself before you start a new job or a career change, because you really need to press the reset button and have your mind kind of cleared. Just go out, whether you go on vacation, just get away from everything to clear your thoughts, because I found that a lot of times you are your own worst enemy. You sabotage yourself. You already have pressure coming from all directions. Why cause any more undue pressure by putting pressure on yourself? So make sure that you take time for yourself. The situation varies whether you get laid off, career change, or new job. That transition in between is unique for each situation. If you're laid off and it's through no fault of your own, downsizing, and you have time off, don't sit around and mope. Obviously, you can take care of your body, do your exercises, but also you need to exercise your mind. So that may entail, picking up some skills, doing some online certifications. Use that idle time for your advantage, because if somebody sees that you have a career break, they're also going to look at what did you do to better yourself during that career break. A lot of people just, feel sorry for themselves and they get depressed, and everybody's built differently. But I'm telling you, if you undergo some kind of a layoff, use that as an opportunity to make yourself better, because what's going to happen if you make yourself better in the meantime, you're going to come out a better person on the back end when, you're interviewing for those new positions. And I think in this day and age, there are people who have career breaks. There are people who get laid off. The employers, understand that, life throws you curveballs. They want to know, what are you doing in adversity? What are you doing to make yourself better when the chips are down? If you're undergoing a career change, obviously there's something with your current career that you may not have liked, that you wanted to go in another direction, and you've interviewed for a position in this new career. when you do an interview, I tell people it goes both ways. They're interviewing you, but at the end of the interview, you're also interviewing them because you want to make sure that they're a good fit for you just as much as you're a good fit for them. So based on the information that you gather in that interview, that will help you in terms of navigating that career change. And even if you have a new job, same situation. As I said earlier, take some time off, press the reset button, clear your thoughts. When you're in a situation where you do not feel comfortable, a lot of times doing something comfortable will make you feel comfortable. Whether you have a routine in terms of workout, don't change your routine. Just go ahead, do what you've always done, because when you're kind of in uncharted waters, it's always nice to have something that you can rely on, something that you're more familiar with, and that's going to help you navigate the transition.
Hey, you're hanging out with Keith, John, and Marty and Vern with the longest answer to a question that wasn't asked by Vern Shurd to kick the show off on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. Jimmy, I think we have the longest response in the history of questions ever.
That's a fault of mine.
So Vern, we'll see you next time you show up on the show, Jimmy. We're going to get Vern out of here and go to the next segment. All joking aside. I was like,
whoa.
I actually bought that for a second, Keith. You did.
I was gonna be like, hey, Keith, you gotta chill, man.
Did you buy that too, Marty? That was a good fucking poker face, Keith. You did that well.
I had some good sleep last night. I'm coming at it. Vern, we like to kick every conversation off with our guests with one question. We haven't even had time to ask it because
I'm sorry. There you go.
Vern, listen, brother. You're a man like us. I love through teasing. If I don't tease, I'm not loving. So, we like to tease. Teasing's how we as brothers show love to each other, right? So, Vern, we got a question for you. And we like to ask everybody on the show this first question. And I'm suspecting you've been around a couple days to maybe figure this shit out. But Vern, what's your morning routine, man?
Oh, God. All right. Alarm, 5:15.
Stop clock on, Jimmy. Let's see how long it takes to answer the question.
Alarm, 5:15 in the morning. Get up. Take my shower. Make my lunch. Take my Greyhound out for a walk. Bring my Greyhound in. Go ahead. Drive to work. Start work at 7.
Every day, eh? Has that been a routine for years? For years,
except during COVID when I had to work from home. Any type of exercise, if it's cold outside to get on the bike, that's usually done in the evening during my me time.
Dude, you got a Greyhound. I got dogs. Johnny's got dogs. Marty's on his way to getting dogs, but you have a Greyhound.
I basically got 2.
Yeah, you have 2 dogs called John and Keith.
Well, that's not what I meant.
But Vern, you got a Greyhound. I've known them not to be the most laziest dogs around, so I gotta think they keep you active, brother.
Okay, well, whoever told you that, they were pulling your leg. Basically, they were racing on the track during their career. When they retired, they know they're retired. They're basically the world's largest couch potato. They need exercise just like any other dog, but a lot of the times they just want to lounge around. In fact, if I turn my screen over here, my buddy is over there. There we go.
Awesome, man. That's awesome. I love that. Yeah.
That's couch potato. If anybody asked about Greyhounds, there you go. That's your answer right there.
The Obscure Ninja, I'm sorry, brother. You had a dog. Can't listen. Yeah, I get you, brother. I know what that's like when we lose our best friend. That's a really unfortunate.
And those dogs, I got to say, they are so amazing and so beautiful to watch race.
Yes.
They are.
We used to. In college, I used to go to a track where you could bet on them. And you always bet on the one that you resonate the best with. So I was always betting on the big motherfucker. And it was just so fun to watch. It's like a horse. They're so big. They're just so sleek. They're so fast. It's really cool. Amazing animals.
Yeah, those are awesome. Vern, tell us about FIRE. FIRE. Tell us about FIRE, what it means, what does it stand for, and how can folks benefit from FIRE?
Okay. All right. FIRE. We're not talking about flames or yelling fire in a movie theater. This is for finance. So FIRE is financial independence, retire early. It could also mean financial independence, recreational employment. Basically, it's something that, only a select few, a very, small percentage of people are able to attain. And basically that means that you might be saving a little bit more. You may be tightening your budget, tightening your financial belt a little early, suffer a little bit of uncomfortableness in order to reap the benefits earlier in life. Traditionally, the retirement age is, from 60 to 65. People that are in the fire realm, they'll be retiring in their 40s or their 50s. And it's kind of like, they're going to decide to postpone some of the things that they want in order to retire sooner. And the earlier you get started, the better, because the one commodity, the most important commodity in terms of planning for retirement, is time.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Hey, Vern, this our show's for men. We wake up helping men, get their shit together, help them achieve, their biggest goals, not hit the snooze button. Vern, did you know if you snooze 9 minutes a day for the entire year, you're going to be 2.5 days behind the other guy who doesn't? It's actually quite crazy, to be frank with you. But hey, you turned your DJ experience into a business and then a radio station. For the guys who are listening right now who might feel stuck, what advice could you offer about mindset when it comes to reinventing yourself? Vern.
Okay, so obviously you have a passion that's locked in there, and then you act on that passion. If you don't have all the answers, that's okay. Maybe you do some research, online. Maybe you talk to other people in the field. With me, with the DJ business, I've been DJing since I was 19. I was working for a business. I decided to go out on my own, and actually the procurement career actually helped me get my own DJ business, because I had to take a business class in order to get my procurement certification. And there was a part of the final project was developing a business plan. I developed a business plan to start up my own DJ business. The light bulb went on, voila. Did that for 20 years. Getting older, moving the equipment around, if I want to enjoy my retirement, my body, has to, agree with me also. So I decided to transition into online radio. Be brutally honest, I don't like the music of today. I mean, there's no imagination. It's sanitized. I like the music, the retro music of the past. And I think another thing is whenever a situation, if there's a crisis in the country or people are feeling down, I found that nostalgia is a big pick-me-up. So basically my online station covers like the 60s through the 90s. It's modeled after the Casey Kasem American Top 40 in terms of the.
I remember that. I remember that. Yeah, as a kid,
So,
Casey Kasem Top 40. When that was playing, everybody was tuned in.
Exactly. So I just kind of wanted to bring back that nostalgia. If nothing else, my monthly shows for an hour and a half, it allows people to escape, to kind of like, reminisce for an hour and a half. And that does a lot for your mind. It'll maybe give you a positive attitude, and it'll, help you for the rest of your day.
Yes. Hey, Vern, are you on a time commitment here? Or can you stick around for a few more minutes with us?
Sure. No, yeah, I guess I have to after my long-winded early answer.
Listen, brother, I'd like to make some content for you that you can maybe use on your feeds here. But so if you want, I'd love to have stick around for a few minutes. Here's how the show works. Marty's got something to say. We're going to offer it up here. Marty's going to throw his fit tip on the table. We'll come back and we'll keep the conversation going for the next, 8-10 minutes or so. And then we'll wrap it up with John Andersen. How's that sound?
It sounds good.
Let's do it. All right. So let's get after it, Marty. I know you got something to say, brother. Let's do it.
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
Let's get it. All right, y'all know what time it is. We got the fitness tip for today. And today we're going to get straight to it. Listen, you're in the gym doing your routine. You've been doing the same thing for the whole year, right? I know we're not even 2 full months into the year yet, but you've been doing the routine for the whole year. It's time to start switching it up. Let's increase the weight. Let's do something we're not comfortable doing, because at a certain point, you're going to plateau. Now, I'm happy you're in the gym, right? I'm happy you're being consistent with it. But you got to challenge your body, right? Part of getting results is making your body uncomfortable. And when you make your body uncomfortable, that's when change happens, right? So if you've been doing squats with 100 pounds, you started that in January, it's going to be March soon. Let's throw some more weight on there. Maybe let's try a different type of squat. Maybe let's try a sumo squat, right? Maybe let's try a goblet squat. But let's do things to challenge our body so we can continue to get better, continue to keep pushing, And it makes the gym a little bit more fun, because who wants to keep going in there doing the same thing? You're going to get bored. What happens when you get bored? You start finding excuses, and then you fall off. So don't be afraid to challenge yourself in the gym. That's the fitness tip for today.
Challenge yourself, guys. Marty, I love the goblet squats, man. I love changing it up. The goblet squats, the heel elevated goblet squats.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Good stuff, right? Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot, actually. Good tip from See Marty Fit every day, 8:30 Eastern time. Giving you guys something to get throughout your day here. We're hanging out with Vern Shurd, myself, Marty and Johnny, and producer Jimmy, and our community dude, Walter, in the communities over there. Hey, Vern, Greyhounds or spreadsheets? What teaches you more patience?
Oh my God, that's a tough one, because my dog Bella, she's a diva, and she really tests my patience. I on a practical sense, I guess you could say spreadsheets, but on the human aspect of it, I have to go with the Greyhound. So I really can't give you a definitive answer one way or the other. I kind of have to split it down the middle.
There you go. Marty, Johnny, got some questions for Vern this morning? I got a whole bunch here, so if you guys, I don't want to just be the guy asking. You guys got something thrown on the table for more.
I was just gonna say I like that. I can't remember the letters that you use to represent what you're doing, but I like the one that because there was two of them. Yeah. But one of them represent continuing, because I really think the idea of retirement is something that people really don't understand. It's like first off, when you're a kid, you think, oh, I want to go do this so I can retire at this age, which means you're going to commit 40 years to something you're trying to get away from. You're planning to get away from that. So I just like the idea that part of your system was to create a better way rather than to escape. Because I think the whole idea of escaping what we do every day is what creates the walking zombie. So I just wanted to commend you on the fact that I love the second.
The recreational employment, I think it's, I call it basically doing something you love. I always say about retirement, it's not a sense of retiring from something. You're retiring to something. You have to have a destination. You have to have a purpose. It doesn't end there. It's almost like it's a new beginning.
Yeah. So many people, they don't have that. They just, all of a sudden they stop doing what they're doing, and for many cases, like people that are working with their hands, like say someone's working in construction, they retire, their physical activity goes away. They lose their daily purpose and they just fucking die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, Vern, if you could give your younger self, younger Marty, if you could give your younger self one career life hack, life solution, life reflection in as few words as possible, what would it be? What would you say it is, Vern?
Oh, God. Start even earlier.
Oh. What does that mean?
In other words, looking back, you kind of see how things are. You don't anticipate that when you're young. But if I talk to my younger self, I would say start even earlier, because that gives you that extra buffer when you get older, especially when it comes to financial planning and money. It's the earlier you start, the better. That's the best advice I could say.
Marty, thoughts on that, brother?
Oh no, I love that. I take the same approach to fitness. But I was going to ask, so you did the DJing, you retired to online radio. So as far as like music and production, what's next? What you think?
That's okay. I'll try to make this as brief as possible to make up for my earlier. Retiring to something. This is just one part. I obviously would like to get a part-time job doing something I love 2 days a week. When I started the station in 2023, beginning of 2023, I knew that I planned on retiring at the end of 2025. I wanted to have that in place and established by the time I retired. So the radio station is actually a product of fire, in a sense, that I've put that in place. It didn't happen by accident. It was purposeful. I didn't want to keep DJing with lifting all the equipment and that stuff. And I noticed the passion just wasn't in me anymore. So I decided to do the online. I always thought about doing that. And then I did some research, went ahead and did the online platform with Live 365. My monthly radio show is very popular. I have long distance dedications, just like Kasem did. And it really, when you hear people's stories, it's not so much that they're just writing in, but the fact that that actually hits you, you feel something. And that kind of, adds to the human element that, there's the people out there that have a story to tell. And I love that, because I love that. The listeners love that. So that makes it all worthwhile. So the whole station is just it's a preemptive strike, so to speak, of my fire movement.
Yeah. Got you.
Hey, Vern, today's topic, our main topic today is about career transitioning and how to stay fit and focused and so forth when you're going through it. Vern, you started out aiming for a government environmental job, but you landed in procurement, my favorite job on the planet.
You want? I'll try to do the short story if
what's
possible.
What's the biggest lesson you learned about pivoting when plans didn't go as expected?
You may have your heart set on something, but you always have to have a plan B and a plan C, because nothing ever, turns out the way you think. And that's okay. I think that's how you learn. I think that's how you grow, and how you deal with adversity early on. That's also going to help you prepare for dealing with adversity later, because it's like, oh, I ran into this before. This is how I handled it. If I handled it the wrong way, I got to make sure I don't do it that way next time. If I handle it the right way, it's like, I know what to do. I know how to handle that situation. So yeah, going back to college, I wanted to work have a public sector job because of, with the pension and the benefits. Even back then, I knew that if I had something like that, it would make things a little easier for me when the time came for me to retire, because I'd have a pension. I'd kind of have that financial floor. If all hell breaks loose with the stock market, the government pensions, at least in the state of Maryland, they're relatively stable, they're relatively safe. I'd always have that income. With the environment, I wanted to get involved with, doing environmental work. That didn't happen. There was a hiring freeze. I just figured I'm going to apply to whatever is out there. Whoever hires me first, I get my foot in the door. That's what happened. It happened to be procurement. I happened to like it, and it took off. And it worked out. I mean, you just never know. A lot of people in procurement, they don't grow up saying, I want to be a procurement officer. If they do that, I think they need to see a shrink, first of all, because it's not for everybody. There's a lot of pressures coming from all sides. But I think in the procurement industry, it has also made me tougher in terms of my mindset, my mentalness, in terms of, also in terms of the planning aspect. There's elements of my procurement career that can be applied to life. And that's something great. If you have a career that you can actually take some, snippets from that career and apply it to your everyday life, to me, that's a bonus.
Vern, Keith, Marty, and Johnny very much subscribe to the burn the boats theory. There is no plan B, plan C. I want to get to this in a second. We got Rick Clody coming in with a comment saying your mentality and mindset on the vertical stream is key to surviving today's career transition. Vern Shurd is right that things rarely go as planned. Resiliency is vital. How would you respond to myself, Marty, and Johnny when we're like, nope, no plan B, no plan C. There is only the burn the boats plan. How do you react to that, Vern?
Adapt or perish.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's my response.
I like that. Hey, you're hanging out with Vern, Keith, and Johnny here. Mornings and Live with Keith and friends. We're wrapping up our segment with Vern Shurd here, our guest here this morning in the lab. Vern, where can folks connect with you? How can they find you? How can they find your show? How can they learn more about Vern Shurd?
Okay, well, I work for the Maryland State Treasurer's Office. It's a state agency. I actually procurement manager for the 529 program. That, since college is so expensive, that allows people to save up for college in advance. It's kind of like the mentality of the retirement, saving for retirement, but instead of retirement, it's for higher ed. DJGreyhound.com is my website. You can access the station on there. You can also access it's DJ Greyhound Radio on Live 365. I have a station it's on LinkedIn, the station page. And I have a lot of listeners from LinkedIn that tune in every month to my show. So the next month's show is going to be in first weekend of March. It's on my website, and I'd be glad that any of you listeners out there willing to come in and listen, because it's a great show. It's very nostalgic, and it kind of takes you away, escape for an hour and a half or so from your problems, and maybe it puts you in a better frame of mind for the rest of the day.
That's awesome. Vern, Marty's in Maryland there, so maybe you guys are neighbors.
What part of Maryland?
I'm in Largo. So
Oh, okay, you're outside of
DC
DC.
side.
I'm in
Yeah.
Owings Mills, so I'm northwest of Baltimore City.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Okay,
Yep.
yeah, I know Owens Mills.
Hey, speaking of just a quick little digression, I was just doing some reading over the weekend. What's up with all the houses for sale in the DC area since the new administration come in? Apparently, there's thousands of homes on the market that folks looking to dump their homes in the area. I encourage you guys to check that out. It's kind of some interesting shit happening there in the
going on.
DC area. Yes, Vern Shurd, final words from you, my friend, before we say goodbye, brother.
Just keep plugging away. I'll just say, don't be afraid to aim high with your goals.
Yeah.
Because even if you don't make it to the top, you come up a little short, you're still going to be in a better place than you were before. So.
Awesome. And hey, for the three rookies here doing this, you've been around doing your Casey Kasem radio show a lot longer than myself, John and Marty. Any closing advice for the three young punks here who are trying to make a go at this, brother?
Just keep at it. If you have a passion, just stick to the plan, ignore the outside noise, find something that speaks to you. Don't listen to the detractors, because I found that the detractors have their own shit that they're going through, have their own problems, and it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them. So just stay the course, go for your passions, and ultimately you have to do something that makes you happy. In the end, that's all that matters.
That's right. As Johnny says, Vern, if they're talking smack, you're on the right track. Vern Shurd joining us here, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. Vern, thanks for coming in, bro.
Sure, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Vern.
Okay.
Appreciate you, Vern.
All right.
All right, Vern's out of here, Jimmy. We're going to bring Johnny up on stage for a lifestyle tip, and then we're going to come back and we're going to have the big conversation on how to stay fit and focused. I'm going to share a personal story in less than a minute. Let's get after it, Johnny.
Self-sabotage is a difficult one for people, human beings, to deal with. I was getting crushed by it this morning. It seemed like no matter what I did, I was just constantly cluttered. My mind was cluttered with these thoughts that were not helping me. And what I wanted to do, I wanted to kind of just slow down, stop, and just get engulfed by these thoughts that were taking my mind and my day in the wrong direction. So this is what I did. It works for me, and it'll probably work for you too. I just keep moving. I make sure that I drink my water. I make sure that, I do my journaling. I made my breakfast. I did all the things that I do in my morning, and I just kept moving. If I had sat still and I had thought about what was going on in my brain, I would have gone down the wrong path. I wouldn't have been productive, and I would have had a terrible day. Some days I get control of it a little easier than others. Today was one of those days where I just had to keep moving, because movement creates momentum. Momentum creates motivation. And ultimately, it's the discipline that you have to do your daily rhythm that will get you out of this, I guess you'd say, this really fucked up state of mind. So as human beings, what gets in our way the most is ourselves. It's those self-sabotaging thoughts that do it to us. So if you're like me in the mornings, just keep on moving. Rock and roll.
Ever got question about that? It's what I had to tell myself when my shit was going sideways, John, Marty, when I lost my job. And I got a quick little story to tell you guys about how I took back control of myself as I was going through some shitty times in my life. And guys, I know it's vanity, right? But we all do it. We do. And I'll be the first to admit it. I looked in the mirror and I didn't like what I saw, Marty. My waist growing. My mom would have called me husky at the time. My face looked different. That puffy face, Johnny, puff, 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 right? My mind felt scattered. My energy, it was off. My energy was sideways, man. My life, guys, my career, guys, everything felt upside down. Yeah, I was lost. Totally.
Purpose was stripped from you, brother.
Completely, Johnny. I lost my job at the company I founded and sold for millions. I was stuck and spiraling. Happiness? Yeah, right. Says who? My accountant? My financial advisor? Because I'd become the guy, Marty, I'd become the guy that I never wanted to be. Here's the reality. I was fat and I was out of a job. Yeah, because of a decision that I didn't make. But a decision.
Plus sized.
Yeah, but a decision, Marty, that I could own. And I had to change. I had to change. But knowing something and doing it, Johnny, as we know, are two different things, right? So I broke it down, and here's what I did. The hardest part, getting fucking honest with myself. John, you know what I'm saying here. But here's how I did it. I got ruthless with my time. I cut anything out that didn't matter to me. And if it wasn't adding value, it was out. And it was an honest fucking conversation with myself. Like, no, that's not working. I got to get rid of it. Right? No more yes to things that didn't move me forward. Johnny, you'll love this, man. I rebuilt my habits. I started small. Marty, no snooze button. I made protein my priority. I moved daily. I fixed my sleep. I created those non-negotiables that I had when I was in my job, but I lost them. And I removed those excuses that I was in my head and I put them away. Fuck the excuses. Morning routine, workouts, focus time locked in. Take care of Keith first, non-negotiables. And I asked myself some hard questions, boys. What do I want? What will I change? What's stopping me? And the answers weren't always possible, but they gave me clarity. And I stayed consistent even when it sucked. And listen, guys, most days weren't easy. Oh my God, they weren't easy. And Johnny talked about his morning today, but I kept showing up. Little by little, the discipline paid off. I started feeling like me again, more confident, more alive, more in love with myself. This wasn't just about looking better, boys. It was about taking back control of my body, my mindset, and my future. Now listen, guys, if you're feeling lost this morning, I get it, because I'm you. I've been there. And there's some days I'm still fucking there. But listen, you heard Johnny. Movement, momentum starts with movement. Change starts with a decision. And then it's about showing up every day until you become who you were meant to be. And guys, it's the choice that you make, not what your wife makes, your kids make. It's the choice your own mirror makes. That's my how I got my
brother. You know, one of the things I love this, and one of the things I think that is hard for people, like you said, you ask yourself hard questions. What do you want?
Yes.
You put 1,000 men in line and say, what do you want? They can't describe it with any detail.
Talk about that, John. Talk about that.
So to put into like a really goofy term,
yeah,
a ship leaves a port. It wants to go, it leaves port A. It wants to go to port B.
Yes.
It needs to know exactly where port B is to get to port B.
Yes.
So if you're standing in a line and someone says, what do you want? Can you describe, you're standing in point A. Can you describe specifically with details what point B looks like, what it smells like, what it feels like? Most people can't do that. So they spend a lot of time like a ship at sea, not really knowing where port B is, just wandering around.
Marty, I'm coming to you quickly here. You said something which strikes me, Johnny, and I think this is the detail that a lot don't think about, and I'm suspecting he's going through his journey. You talked about things like, what does it smell like? What does it feel like? What does it look like? And it's that detail, guys, that I think you need to lean into. I'm suspecting when Marty was going through his journey from basketball player to trainer, and you guys were calling you a loser, you started using visualization around what point B was going to look like, didn't you, Marty? You had it all mapped out, man. You just didn't think it. You're like, oh yeah, I know what it's going to look like when I'm there. Am I correct, Marty?
Yeah, absolutely. And just to go back to what you were saying earlier.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand. They don't know how to say no to those things that aren't bringing them value. Because
you got to get good at saying no. That's for sure. That's the first step.
Exactly. They think they're supposed to do those things. They think they're supposed to be in a toxic relationship. They think they're supposed to be surrounded by alcohol and do the drugs. They're supposed to still be cool. A lot of people don't know how to say no, so they can't get to that next step.
So you know, on that level, brother, and so many people struggle with this. You can be a kind person and distance yourself from someone who is not bringing happiness, quality, whatever adjective you want to use to your life. You can still be kind and distance yourself.
Yes. But let's go there, Johnny. You know, you heard me talk a little bit after Vern had left, and I talked about my journey. We talked during the accountability check-in about removing people from your life that don't add value. removing some people from your life that are getting in the way of the success, right? So when we lose our job and we go into a different direction, maybe we have a lot of friends at that old job that are still hanging around. Like we're going through some massive change in life. Peer pressure sleeps in.
Oh, it's
Johnny,
fucking lonely, brother. It's fucking lonely. When I made the decision, okay, I'm going to become. I'm like, okay, I'm truly taking this serious about becoming a strawman. That was my first venture. I mean, literally, the only people that I considered friends, I could only talk to on the telephone all of a sudden, because everybody around me was fucking gone. My training partners were the only ones left, and I'd be honest, many of my training partners I didn't see outside of training because the influence was not there.
Because they had a bad influence on you, and you're like, I don't want that.
Yeah, in training they were perfect.
Yes.
But in their personal lives, they were still doing stuff that was not conducive to what I was trying to do. So I went from having people all around me, to seeing people, daily, hanging out with people daily or definitely on the weekends, to all of a sudden fucking crickets. If I wanted to talk to someone that I included in my life, it was on the telephone, because there was nobody that lived around me physically left.
Marty, as the youngster on the show, as Johnny likes to call you, I got to be honest, brother. I don't empathize sometimes with where you're at with age and with friends and peer pressure, because I've been you, and I know what it was like when you're trying to go in the right direction, and some friends are pulling you back. Talk about the courage it takes as a 31-year-old, 32-year-old man to go, dude, I'm not hanging out with you anymore, man, because you're pulling me in the wrong direction. Like, those are tough choices, Marty.
Take some balls, man.
Yes.
But let's take the flip side of that, though. Let's take the flip side, because Bart, I'm with you, brother. I mean, I remember the flip side is that it does take balls, but it's also gets you a level of respect that you never had before.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know if you're thinking about it at the time, though, Johnny. Like, Marty, I don't know if you're thinking about it at the time, right? When that buddy you're hanging out with all of a sudden is not around, because you're going in your own direction, you're swimming in your direction. I'm wondering, Johnny, if that respect doesn't come out, Marty, until a few years later when somebody reflects upon it.
Well, and that's where you've got to visualize it, feel point B, because I'm not worried about the dumb shit you're saying right now. I'm worried about the shit you're gonna fuck. I get it now. That's what I was thinking about.
Yes.
And you got to realize, I've done this. I know what the result is if I continue to do this. So why not switch it up? Why am I going to keep doing the same shit and expect a different result? So, like I said, it takes some balls.
I like
everybody can't do it.
I've done this. I like what you said. I like what you said. I've done this, because you're talking in the fact that you've accomplished it, so
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Absolutely.
Wait, and the thing about it is you got to remember that the majority of the people that surround an average person are fucking average.
Yes. Yes.
So do you want to be extraordinary? I mean, if everybody around you is ordinary, it's time to fucking start cutting some shit loose and either have a nobody or surrounding yourself with people that are extraordinary. If you want to be something, you must become that. And you're going to attract what you are.
Do you gentlemen subscribe to the theory that when you're going through a massive change in life, whether it's losing a job, losing a relationship, that maybe going to use the word maybe it's important to take some time to maybe dig into some sorrow or dig into the feelings that maybe we don't want to have, so that we can find a way to get out of them? Or do you subscribe to the opposite, which is don't even let yourself go there? Do you know what I'm getting at, Johnny?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a little bit of a mixture. I think that you're silly not to learn from anything that happens. Yes. But once you extract that lesson, let that shit go.
Yeah. Marty, what are you thinking?
If you don't let go of the past, it won't let you live.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. Marty, what are your thoughts?
I think it's perfectly fine to have those feelings. So whatever you got to do, if you got to cry, if you got to yell, whatever it is, let that shit out. It's healthy for you.
Yes. Yeah.
But you can't spend too much time on it. For myself, I let myself have that moment. It might be a rant.
Yes.
I let myself have that moment, and then as quickly as possible, I'm taking action to move on. And then I got to realize too that if it's a person that left your life, or if it's a situation that's changing, God no longer wanted that situation or that person in your life.
Boom.
So, and don't fight against it, because if you fight against it, he gonna be like, all right, I tried to tell you, and then the disaster is gonna happen.
Yes.
So that's how I look at it.
I subscribe to the same thoughts as you guys, because when I went through my journey of losing my job and figuring my shit out, my own imposter syndrome crap, I let myself feel it for a while. I just did. I leaned into it, embraced it. Yeah, but but unfortunately, what happened to me though is I went down a direction of looking in the mirror one day and going, okay, I'm not liking how I'm feeling. So I had to fucking snap out of it, right? And that snapping out of it was recollecting everything and rejigging my purpose, and I was good again. But because I'd been there and I knew how to do it, but I allowed myself to feel. I went and spoke to people. I spent a lot of time talking with AJ. But I built a lot of Lego, but I let myself feel until it was time to be done feeling, right? And I had to go through that journey. You know what I'm saying? So,
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, everybody has their process.
That's exactly.
I mean, when I was younger, before I understood what I understood now, I used to literally I would let myself feel until the feeling was just basically gone.
Yes.
But the problem I realized is that I was wasting a lot of time, and it was really beating me up. And what it was doing was it was training my brain to be in the wrong space.
Well, and I'll be honest, gentlemen, again, as we all like to reveal, and Johnny likes to use the term pulling our pants down. Guys, I went through journeys where I was, eating bad shit, drinking bad shit, just making bad decisions, right? Through my journeys in life, right? And you learn like, oh, that's not a good path. I got to get out of that, right? So, but yeah, it's just our journey in life and finding when it's time to stop and repivot and go in the right direction. We got some comments here from the Obscure Ninja. And yes, you are correct, Obscure Ninja. If you're surrounded with you guys, that mean you're extraordinary? You are. Yeah, if you show up with us every single day and hang out with us and get after every single day and moving mountains and going in the direction nobody else is going, then I think that you are an extraordinary human being. All right, guys, listen, hour one is done. That was a fast hour. A lot of fun here. Marty, you're getting after today. What's going on in the agenda today, brother? Give me something new today at the gym, brother. Give me something new.
What do you mean, give you something new?
I don't know. What's happening today at the Golds in Maryland today? Is it Monday meeting?
Virginia.
Yeah. Yeah, Virginia. Is it a Monday meeting today? Is it a staff meeting today? What are you lining the folks up with today? No
staff meeting. We just go in there. Try to get some sales and that's it, man.
Awesome.
Oh, a bench broke, so I got to deal with that shit. In the locker room.
Oh, there you go.
Bench in the locker room broke. Yeah, so we got to deal with that, and that's probably going to be the most exciting thing of the day.
Are you going to delegate that task, Mr. Martin, or are you going to do it yourself?
I'm going to delegate it, but I still gotta handle it. It's a lot of shit I gotta do. I gotta contact people and. Yeah, it's they keep me busy.
There you go. Christopher Martin getting after it at the Gold Gym there in Virginia, getting after it today. He'll be back tomorrow morning in less than 24 hours in the morning loop. You have yourself a great day, Mr. Kurt, Mr. C. Marty.
Mr. Kurt, you watch it now. Hey, Johnny, get your boy, man.
No, I was going to call you Mr. Christopher.
Johnny, get your boy, man.
Mr. Christopher. I was going to say Mr. Christopher. Mr. Christopher, have yourself a good day, brother.
Appreciate it, man. I see you all
Have a good look, man.
Bet you will.
You too.
All right, Johnny's going to go for a little restroom break, and we're going to come back and reset the show and work towards wrapping it up, Mr. John Andersen. All right, boys, Johnny's going for a break. Jimmy, let's reset the show here. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends, the only morning show to get your ass out of bed. We go 8 o'clock Eastern time right here on LinkedIn, YouTube, X, and then you will find our content across all of the platforms to keep you guys moving, motivated. Listen, we just dropped a brand new I'll talk about it tomorrow. It's called Inside the Lab. Hey, good morning, Martin Walking. Good to see you here. Just tuned in. I love it. Martin, what's shaking, brother? You are hanging out with Keith Phillips. Marty just left off to the gym, and Johnny's out taking a break. You're hanging out with Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends, the only morning show to get your ass out of bed, help you guys hit those big, audacious goals. We launched a behind-the-scenes product on Substack called Inside the Lab. We are going to be putting content in that platform, which shares with you how we're doing this show show behind the scenes. So if you're a creator looking to start your own community, start your own conversation, own the conversation, we can help you do that. I invite you to subscribe to our Substack, inside.bapl.ai. Okay, Jim, I'm resetting it here, man. I got something up here, which is called, yes, we got the Community Corner Creator Spotlight coming up. Listen, some quickly for you guys I want to throw out there. If you guys have an iPhone, I got something I was reading over the weekend when I want to throw some value on the table for you guys. We're all about adding value. Fellas, texting should be simple, right? You send a message, get a reply, and you move on. Really? Is it that simple? I don't know. But let's be real. Your inbox, complete mess. Those group chats are chaos. Messages get lost, and sometimes you just need to stand out. Listen, if you got an iPhone, you're sitting on a gold mine of hidden iMessage tricks that'll make texting smoother, faster, and let's be honest, way more fun. Let me break it down. Let me give you guys some things to think about this morning. If you have an iPhone, if you got an Android, go tune out, go somewhere else, you get the green. But listen, did you know you can pin your most important chats? Yeah. Pin them to the top. You got texts that always get buried, pin them. Long press in that conversation, hold it, move it right to the top of your chat. It's going to make your life much easier. You could also keep group chats organized with inline replies. You ever try responding in a group chat, Johnny, but by the time you type it out, they're talking about something else? If you long press the message you want to reply to and tap reply, now your response stays threaded. It doesn't get lost. No more guessing who you're talking to. Clody, you need to figure that out, man, if you're doing some texting with some friends. Listen, third one, make your text pop with screen effects. I do it all the time with my kids and my beautiful wife. Some texts deserve more than just words. If you hold the blue send button before sending your message, you choose from the bubble effect, slam, loud, gentle, screen effect. You can have a lot of fun with your friends along the way.
That's if you hold the send button.
That's right. Yeah. And then it pops up and you know what, Johnny? And you can, no. Yeah, you hold the send button down, just hold it before you, and then you're going to get a bunch of options pop up, and you can send like exploding messages, big bold messages. You can add a lot of fun.
Interesting.
Yes, if you want to send a love note to your wife and emphasize the love, you can send that. And
I resisted text, man. When text came out, I was like, "Fuck, are you kidding me?" You know,
dude, you're like the texting king, man.
Well, now it's like I realize the efficiency of it. Back in the day, I didn't quite get it.
I've never met a more efficient texter than Johnny Andersen. I'm pretty.
Explain that. I'm curious what you mean by that.
I am, because I've never. The dude's got facial expression. You know how we use stickers, boys, right? So Johnny's got sticker responses for everything. You give him a message and he fucking bangs back a sticker response quickly. He gives you the audible messages quickly, the video messages. Johnny, for somebody who says you didn't embrace texting, you're like the fucking king of texting, man. You're good at it.
Oh yeah, in terms of, you're talking about response time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you use it properly. You use the stickers. You just yeah. I find it's pretty enjoyable texting with you. And guys, tag people in group chats because no one reads everything. So if you are texting somebody in a group chat, if you type their name in the message and tap it, it's going to notify them. Right. So if John's sending a message to Keith and Marty and Jimmy, he could send a message to all of us. But while he's typing out Keith's name, he taps it. I'm going to get notified of it so that we all get the message. But it's like, hey, Keith, you've been called out in the message. And I don't know if you guys know about this one. This is kind of one of those things which is, you're like, really? Johnny, did you know that you can shake your phone to undo something?
No.
Yeah. If you're sending me a text message and you're like, oh, fuck, man, I didn't want to say that to Billis. You could take your phone, shake it. Just remember the Etch-a-Sketch, brother? You had an Etch-a-Sketch, didn't you?
Yeah.
Remember
but I mean, you shake it. How do you know if the text is already gone? It'll bring it back.
No. So if you're typing a text out on your phone or typing anything on your phone, if you're typing anything on your iPhone and all you do is shake it, it's going to undo the last thing that you were doing.
Like it'll so if you're typing an email and you want to start over, shake it, it'll just the email is gone.
Yeah, it'll say undo. You'll say yeah, and
the whole function. Okay,
yeah, exactly. Right. So just like an Etch-a-Sketch that you and I grew up with. Remember when you made the Etch-a-Sketch, you're drawing it to clear the screen.
The two little wheels. Yeah,
dude. As a young kid, I always treated it like my computer. I'm like, okay, how can I make some crazy shit with this thing, right? And then you shake it and erase the whole thing. Well, the iPhone works the same way. So when you're doing something and you don't like it, you can just literally shake it, and a pop-up says undo typing, and it will undo that last content that you made. And then here's another thing too, Johnny. I don't know. I know that you're a one-hander as well. Did you know that you can shift your keyboard for one-handed typing?
No. What the hell does that mean?
Yeah. So if you hold down the emoji key on the bottom left, right on your iPhone, you choose left or right, the keyboard is going to move to the left-hand side of the screen or the right-hand side of the screen, so it's easier for your thumb to move around.
Oh, I've actually accidentally done that a few times.
Yeah,
but the problem is it gets fucking smaller. Yeah, and my fat thumb has no chance.
Dude, I'm loving these tips I'm dropping right now because I'm making my brother happy here, man. I'm seeing some folks over here going, this is good. So you can send a handwritten message for a personal touch. You know that, Johnny? Do you know you can send a personal message to Terry or to the girls?
No.
Yeah.
How do you do
that? Sometimes a text isn't enough. So if you turn your sideways in the Messages app, so open up the Messages app, right? And then turn your phone right now. Yeah, let's do it together. And then so send a message to Terry. I'm going to send
a message. You're talking about text.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then turn it sideways and
open up a person, right?
Yeah. And then tap the squiggly icon next to the return button there. So if you look if you look there at the squiggly button there next to the return, you actually can write with your finger. You can send her a nice little love note.
I don't see a squiggly. Put yours up so I can see it. I don't see a squiggly.
To the focus. Yeah, so there you go. So if you look to the right there, right to the bottom there, right.
Oh, there it is. It doesn't work if it's vertical, only horizontal.
Yeah, so turn horizontal, and you can actually type. You can actually use your finger to type to scroll a nice little message to the girls.
And you have to write that with your finger.
Yeah, exactly. So just touch the squiggly. And
yeah, no, I see that. I just question my ability to write anything with my finger in that small space.
So now, no, touch it. Now this big window opens up. When you touch the squiggly, the big window opens up.
Touch the squiggly. Undo. Where's the squiggly? Once it's there, I got.
Yeah. So you're going to touch the squiggly on next to the return button there. You touch the squiggly button there.
Yeah, then, I got that.
And then the big black window opens up where you can actually type your finger into it.
You got a menu on the bottom that I don't have.
Oh, no shit. So so Rick is giving us feedback as well. Lower right side. So when you when I turn my keyboard to the right here and I turn it horizontal and then I type and I hit the squiggly button, I get a big black window pop up.
Yeah, mine turns white. You can see, but I got nothing on the bottom.
Same thing though, but I think you can write in that space there, Johnny. Start writing your finger on the like just like this.
I can make a squiggly, but that's I guess it'll just be a brief note.
Something like that, yeah. But I
got you.
There you go.
Okay.
So there you go. So there's another tip there for you. And then you can share your location. Do you do that, Johnny, as well when you're out? And I know you and Tara spend a lot of time together, but you can share your location.
I share my location with my kids and
yeah. And the last one, guys, is you can trigger secret message effects with just the word, right? So if you type a word like pew pew, you get the laser light show. If you type happy birthday, balloons pop up. If you type congrats or sell a mat, you get confetti, right? Happy New Year, fireworks, right? So you can you type special words, things are going to pop up here and have some fun. And then last but not least, guys, I got a few things here. You can move your cursor like a trackpad, so no more fat fingered edits. So I don't know if you know this as well, Johnny, but when you're typing, if you hold your finger do a long press on the space bar, you actually can use your phone, use the phone like a key, like a trackpad. So when you're typing Terry a message or the girls a message, if you hold the space bar down, your keyboard turns into an actual trackpad where you can move your cursor around anywhere.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff here.
Yeah, exactly. So guys, I'm gonna drop all this stuff on our Substack. Johnny, I'm gonna send it over to you as well. But guys, we're putting this all behind the paywall. So if you want to get the good stuff, you got to come subscribe to our platform here. We're starting to put some content behind the wall so that Keith and Johnny can pay the bills along the way here. And then of course you can add apps to iMessage and never leave your chat again, right? You can add tons of different apps to your iMessage platform. and have some fun. So just a number of tips, boys. If you have an iPhone, I can see this segment's going over quite well. So we're going to do more of these along the way, these tips and tricks, especially for us iPhone owners. Because here's the thing, Johnny, what I love about the iPhone, even the Tesla, is you have these products and they just get smarter all the time, right? They update them, you get smarter and smarter and smarter.
Dude, I think with my electronic devices, I probably use about 5% of their capabilities.
Yes,
even in my cars, it's like, Jesus Christ, it's like, what the fuck is all these fucking buttons and knobs and like, whoa, Jesus Christ, you know? With the Porsches, I literally got them the same year, so they had the same cockpit. Because I'm like trying to learn two different cockpits, it fucks me up, man.
Oh yeah. Hey, Johnny, before we wrap it up, let's do this, brother. We are talking today about change and going through change. I got a quick one that I want to kind of get into with you, which is, because I know you'll agree with me this one. Let's give our audience 10 ways to cope with big changes, because you've been through massive changes. I've been through massive changes. Let's just give some advice on how to focus and, get through the day, get through the week with some massive changes. Johnny, I talked about it during my story here, but you got to call it what it is, right? Change is happening. Denial's not going to stop it. The sooner you name it, the sooner you can deal with it. Lean into that whole idea, Johnny, that it's happening. You got to call it what it is, right, brother?
Yeah, I think perspective is one of the biggest things that people need to.
Yeah.
You realize that in the moment it might feel like it's a bad thing, but then you got to realize that, holy shit, look at all of these doors that potentially can open up for me.
Yes.
And if you're looking at the bad, you're not seeing the good.
Yes.
And so, it's almost like a guy in the batter's box trying to hit a home run.
Yes.
If he's looking at some little girl taking a drink off her soda, he's not hitting that ball.
Yes.
And so when these major changes come, the number one job is to look for the good, identify the good, find that silver lining and pursue it.
Yes.
Because everything that comes our way, one way or the next, is good. It's all good.
Johnny, when I went through my divorce, I remember the moment I was in my Jeep. I left my lawyer's office and I said the words out loud to myself so that I could hear it and I could accept it. My marriage is over. But I had to say it. I had to, and it wasn't the first meeting with my lawyer, Johnny. It wasn't the second or third, but it was during my journey where I had to accept the realization that, okay, yesterday is not tomorrow. Yesterday is the past. But I had to say those words out loud, Johnny, that, okay, my marriage is over. It's now time to begin moving forward. Tough to do in the moment, but I had to accept that, calling it what it was. You know what I mean?
And sometimes in these situations, you just like when I'm really, really having trouble with something, I'll just think, okay, let's talk about the worst possible outcome right now.
Yeah.
And am I okay with the worst possible outcome?
Yes.
It's like you hear of, guys that like UFC fighters, they'll say to themselves, okay, I'm going to climb in the cage. And the worst case scenario is I'm going to get knocked out. It'll suck, but I can deal with it. Now let's go fucking kick some ass.
Yeah.
It's like
a fan of that. Yeah.
You accept the fact that the worst outcome you can deal with. Don't want it, but you can deal with it. Now you stop that anticipation of what it could be is over. You've already mapped it out. Now let's focus on the good.
I'm glad you brought up the wrestling thing, Johnny, because I think wrestling, WWE, I think it's a metaphor for a lot of culture. Right. And I always think about, you and I've had this conversation, when Shane O'Mac got up on the big cage there to do his thing years ago and jumped off the cage and hurt himself. But in that moment, he knew he more than likely wasn't going to die.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can accept that you're going to go through a lot of pain, calling it what it is, as difficult as the decision is, it still makes the decision easier because you're essentially accepting what's going to happen. If you're not going to die, then maybe that's not, you know what I'm trying to say, where you said you've accepted it. You know what's going to happen. So you go and do it.
And that distraction in many cases keeps us from doing the best that we can. And what's the distraction? It's wondering what could happen. Well, get that wondering out of the way. Define it.
Well, and I think it's go back to business, right? It's asking that question. Well, what if you succeeded? Because most people think they're going to fail. What if you? Oh, man, I've succeeded.
Well, 100%. And when you take, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of this practice, but if something's really got my goat, that's what I'll do.
Yes,
because realistically, I'm pretty good at focusing on the, what's going to feel like, what I'm going to see, what is when I succeed. But if that's too clouded by the negative outcome, I'll go define the negative outcome, then come back and I'm so much more clear.
Yes. Johnny, stress is not the enemy. It's the fuel.
Well, I think stress, keep in mind, stress is something that is 100%. It is totally usable. But are you using it?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Some people are fucking stressed out and they're just letting them beat. There's no gain. You're getting your ass kicked by stress, but you're not making progress.
Yes.
That's no good. You've got to realize, okay, this stress, this anxiety, whatever you want to call it, is giving me the ability to do what I wouldn't do if I wasn't stressed out. Are you doing it?
Yes.
Because if you're just getting your ass kicked by stress, just to sit there and get your ass kicked, that's not a good kind of stress. When you turn that stress into movement, turn it into momentum, you turn it into success. That's the stress that stress is helpful.
100%. Martin, I got you in the comments here, brother. This stuff needs to be talked about, which is why we are talking about all overthinking. It is either the root of fear or control. You're right. We're talking about 10 ways we can cope with big change, because big change happens. Calling it what it is. Stress isn't the enemy. It's fuel. Next up, Johnny's, you got to keep a few things the same, right? When everything around you is shifting, you got to hold on to some anchors, right? And perhaps it's your morning routine. Perhaps it's working out. Maybe it's walking the dog. Johnny, when I was going through my world of really feeling shitty about myself, what was really the stable for me, especially going through my divorce, was my dogs. My dog was my anchor, because you know as well as I do, dogs love routines. So for the most part, my dog helped me with some routines, even though some of my routines went sideways. I was going through some change. But that was the anchor for me, as I was going through not only my career change, but my divorce, which was the dog went with me everywhere, because I felt, for me, Johnny, like the dog was my anchor. Can you relate to that?
Yeah, I mean, totally. Because it's another being, for sure. I mean, I tend, my anchor is a question. I ask myself a question. When everything's all messed up and I'm feeling a little lost and I just sometimes don't know what to do, I'll ask myself a simple question. Are you doing the shit that most people won't do? Because if you are, you don't know that you're moving the right way, but if you can answer that question affirmatively, then you're good.
Well, you know what? I'll be very blunt with you. Since I've met you, that question I ask myself daily, because that's my fuel, because I know that we're doing things that others won't do. And that's what I know sets us apart. And that means that that question is tattooed in my fucking brain, because because it's what sets you apart, me apart, Marty. Like there's something different with that. And as we keep doing this, I recognize how different it is that most people don't do things that others will do. Eat like you give a damn. Johnny always talks about eat for purpose, not for passion, right? When life feels chaotic, it's easy to reach for the shit, the junk food, the booze, the distractions. Guys, put that aside and really, if there's one thing you can do, is just leaning into some good quality food. It's going to make you feel better. And then John talks about all the time too, move your body to move your mind. Movement creates momentum. It's as simple as that. You sit around, you get depressed, you get fat, get up, get moving. I can't be more simple than that. I really cannot get more simple than that. And then don't do it alone. Find somebody. I found AJ, Johnny. I leaned into AJ. AJ was a fucking rock for me, man. He was a friend. He was a mentor. He was my community. He was the guy that held me up at 4 or 5 in the morning going to the gym there when I was emotionally a wreck. He was the guy that was there to allow me to talk and just be a good friend. Right. That's what I needed. Right. And then find the silver lining, even if it's thin, Johnny. Right. Because sometimes that silver lining, we can't see it. But when you're asking yourself that question, am I doing something that others won't do? You're answering, yes, I am, because that's that silver lining for you, isn't it?
100%. I shared with you privately, now that the scare is over, I'll talk about it publicly, but Terry actually had a lump on a lymph node that we had to get biopsied. And it was like, she didn't want to tell anybody. She just wanted to kind of get through it. And of course it was fucking scary, because of course they rushed us. They're like, you need to get this done ASAP. If they had said, oh, just go get this tested, but they didn't treat it like that. Anyway. So once the shock kind of got past me, I said to her, I said, babe, this is an opportunity for us to have a new lease on life. Because now there's a possibility things could be very different. And if they're not, we got a new lease.
That's it's heavy stuff. Well, you think Jen Drummond, right? She was supposed to have died in that car crash, and she's like waking up going, wait a minute, nope, I'm gonna go climb mountains. Right. So sometimes we need
that silver lining is always there. You just gotta fucking look for it.
Yep. Other things, gentlemen, take the driver's seat. You hear us talk about it all the time. You can either react to change or you can take control of it. You can either let somebody else or something take control of it, or you can take control of it yourself. You got to take the driver's seat. And you hear John talk about it often, and I give him credit. I love the attitude he's brought to the show. Complain less. You don't need to use the word hate. There's enough of it out there. Complain less, adjust more.
What does a complaining accomplish?
Flip the script. Johnny, I was talking to somebody on the weekend who was we were chatting, and it was this negative energy, and I'm a dude. I was like, that's just like those words you're typing. It's not going in any direction. Like, just stop. Yeah. Like, there's no value in it. Like, there's really listen. It's okay to feel it, but get it out of the way and go into a different direction, because there's actually no value. If there's one thing, Johnny, I learned from my divorce from my lawyer, because I was you get all excited, you get all antsy. He's like, Keith, is what you're going to say going to move the conversation forward? No. It's like, why are you saying it then? Like, oh yeah. You think about it that way, right? Like, if it's not going to move the conversation forward, what the hell is the fucking point of saying?
Yeah, well, it's a distraction.
It is, because you go backwards, you go sideways, it gets emotion. And in anything in life, if what you're going to say is not going to move the conversation forward, then what the hell is the point of saying it? And then finally, boys, go ahead, John.
One more thing on that level is that, if you're just bitching, there's no, but there better be a fix it at the end of that bitch it.
Yes.
If you're explaining yourself and you're having a last, oh fuck, god damn it, this sucks. This is what I'm gonna do. I'll listen to you.
Yes.
But don't leave that thing as some sort of I'm not getting on your pity party. I'm not getting on, the negative train. You want to talk solutions? I'm all about it.
Boom. I love you brought the word up, because I was waiting for you to say the word. I'm like, yeah, bitch. But then when you're done, tell me what you're going to do.
Yeah. Because are you bitching or are you fixing?
Precisely. Because at the end of the bitching is, here's what I'm going to do to solve what I'm bitching about. Right.
Yep.
Last couple of comments, boys. Put social media on pause. You've heard my story. I became a ghost because it was the best thing for me, because your life becomes someone else's highlight reel. So I was like, I don't need that FOMO. I don't need that bullshit. I'm leaving it. I left. And it's not a bad thing sometimes to put social media on pause. And guys, here's the last thing. If you're going through a big change in life, it's going to be a process. It's not going to be perfect. It's going to be a process. John has gone through many changes in his life. I've gone through many changes in his life. You don't go to bed on Friday and wake up on Monday instantly different, John. It's a process, and we have to accept that process. Right, brother?
Yep.
That's exactly it. So, all right. And Rick Clody has the last word: fish or cut bait. I love it. That's exactly it. So, all right, John, let's wrap it up, man. We're going to wrap it up with you. And then me and Jimmy are going to finish up with our community corner, our creator spotlight. What do you have on the agenda today, brother? I did my run this morning. I got a chest and back workout after our show here. What do you got on the agenda today, brother?
I'm going to be, I'm going to train right after this. I got my team meeting. I'm going to do some content.
Yes.
So it's going to be, it's the afternoon. I'm hoping that I can actually go ride today, but I'm not banking on it.
I love you, man. You're like a fucking teenager. You're actually like a little kid. You're a 53-year-old kid stuck in a 12-year-old's body who wants to go motorbiking. Clody, he's like, I want to go motorbiking, but I can't because my shoulder's sore. I just want to go motorbiking.
Here's the thing. For people that ride, most people that ride, it's a pretty big undertaking. You got to load your bikes into a truck. You got to go to a track. You got to get dressed. You ride your bikes, and you got to put them away, put them back in your truck, get undressed, take them home, put them. It's a fucking most of a day undertaking. Right.
Yes.
I can get dressed because I've literally just ride out of my garage, right to the track. I can do the whole thing in a short ride in like 65 minutes. So it's like such a blessing, and the fact that I get to experience this as often as I want, and it doesn't take this huge chunk of my day.
That's fun. Hey, we got a question coming from Walter. Give it the audience, Johnny. What kind of dirt bike do you ride, brother?
It's basically CRF 450. It's basically the race version of a 4-stroke.
Oh, I was going to say it's a 4-stroke. Is that what a 4-stroke engine? Yeah.
Yes, it's the ones that you see. It's like the when you watch the racers. It's the top class, the biggest, stronger, the fastest, most powerful motorcycle.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Cool. All right, pal. Well, listen, what a fun show today. Had a lot of fun, a lot of energy. It was good getting after it today. I really enjoyed the discussion. I enjoyed sharing my stories. And that's what we're getting after, boys. I'm really working on getting more personal with all of you guys as we get into these deep dive segments to share more of my stuff, share more of Johnny's stuff and Marty's stuff. And we're going to keep getting after it in less than 24 hours in Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. My brother, have an awesome day, pal.
You as well, brother. Have a good loop. I'll see you tomorrow.
You bet you will. All right, Johnny's going to get out of here, Jimmy. You hear the tunes. Yeah. Oh, I like this part. The community corner. It's the part of the show where we like to take the big old Mornings in the Lab spotlight, crank it up. Jimmy, just crank those lumens up, eh? I need to get a sound effect for the lumens. Yeah, that's how it sounds. It's exactly how it sounds. I think this shit up, I go to bed and I think, okay. Or I'm driving by myself. Hey, what kind of sound effect could I make which will give the audience something to get excited about? So there's my sound of just whirring up the old Mornings in the Lab light. I'm telling you, people wonder how you do live shows. Just make shit up. Yeah. So yeah. And then you do a long pause to wheel somebody in, hold them into the conversation. Then you just make the loop. Jimmy, just like that. It's just blowing up that sound effect. All right. Jimmy's loving that. I can see the comments coming through. I'm getting the fun emojis right now. Jimmy's still figuring out how to use the iPhone emojis we taught him in that previous. Speaking of the previous segment, if you have an iPhone, I just dropped a bunch of knowledge available only available, guys, inside the lab. Yep. There you go. Jimmy, I'm making the announcement today. I'm not giving that shit for free. No, if you missed it, you got to go inside the lab. Yeah, it's a true story. You got to pay for it. No more freebies here in the lab. Nope. If you want good knowledge that comes out of my skull, on the right side of the skull, because I'm a left guy. What? Yeah, we're going to drop it inside the lab. The only paid experience from Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. The morning show is free. Got to pay the bill somehow. All right, Jimothy, let's get to the creator spotlight, the community corner. It's this part of the show where, like I said, I like to. He's like, yes, Billis. Can we get this fucking segment going? Yes. Hey guys, I'm thinking about going. No, I'm not thinking. I'm going to make a little bit of an announcement here. Jimmy, let's get the roll running. Make an announcement. Yep, big announcement coming up here. Here's the announcement from Keith. Yeah, from Keith. I am going to get back into the lab for a solo experience called Keith in the Lab. When I started this show out, I started out as actually a one-on-one experience called Live in the Lab with Keith Phillips. We're going back to reintroduce this show here in the coming weeks. I'm looking for some guests who want to get into some big, deep dive conversations. Yep. Oh, yeah. I love those big, deep dive conversations, curious conversations. Maybe we'll talk a little bit of politics, the theater politics. Maybe we'll talk about AI. Maybe we'll talk about crazy shit that's happening. I had a guy on my show, actually, Jimmy, you know who we might want to get for our first guest for the big, deep dive conversations is John Swiston. The guy who worked at DARPA. You guys know what DARPA is? The defense part of the U.S. military. They do crazy shit. So their whole purpose of DARPA is to invent technologies to protect the United States. Yeah, true story. Crazy stuff. So we're going to be launching a new show here where we're going to dig into some deep dive conversations. Maybe I'll call it Late Night in the Lab with Keith Phillips. Yeah, how about that one? But we'll get you guys some details coming up in the future. Yes, Martin, I thank you. Yeah, we're going to do some deep dive fun stuff. Going to take a page out of some great conversations with some interesting, fun human beings. Okay, Jim, let's do it. We all see it. Okay, everybody respond. What do you see, Keith? It's like a concert, Jimmy. Everywhere we look, oh, baby. Everywhere we look, we see division. Yeah, true story. We see people shouting past each other. We see lines drawn. We see sides taken. Oh, man. It is absolutely mother exhausting. You go to X, you hear one truth. You go to Threads, you hear a different truth. You go to Blue Sky, you hear a different truth. There's different truths everywhere. It's just the most exhausting experience when you're looking to capture content and read the news or just be a part of society today. Well, listen, this dude, Jimmy, I'm not saying his name just yet. This dude looked at the world and saw something different. This Uncle Keith. What's shaking, brother? Not what separates us, but what connects us. So he started undividing. You're like, oh, who's this guy? Well, I'll tell you his name in a second. Listen, if you're doing content like I'm doing, you got to hook the people along so they keep listening. Like, oh, who's this guy finally going to get to? But this dude, not just as an idea. Nope. Not just as philosophy. No, baby. As a verb. Yep. A way of living. A call to action. This guy has spent 25 years living across 5 continents. Hey, Jimmy, do you think he's lived in Antarctica? We should ask him when he comes on the show. He's seen firsthand how much we have in common. Even, gentlemen, even when it feels like we don't. But this dude, he just did not want to understand it. No, baby. He wanted to do something about it. So he started a Substack. He called it Undividing. He's building a community of people who refuse to let division win. Now, too often in the world, division's winning. I fucking hate it. This dude's out to correct it. He's teaching people how to reconnect, how to understand themselves, how to see beyond the noise. And he's not just talking about it, he's doing the work. So, Jimmy, let's get after it, brother. Let's introduce this fellow. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends is really, really, really excited to call this person out on the show today, who we're going to celebrate. This dude, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends, is excited to celebrate, Jimmy, Carl. Oh, I think I got the wrong person up here, Jimmy. What about Carl Dunn? Oh, I'm doing the wrong one. Jimmy, I'm doing Carl Dunn right now. We got Carl Dunn, who looked at the world and saw something different. And he spent 25 years. So if you can pull that one up, this is funny, Jimmy. This is awesome, man. So we got Carl Dunn coming up here for our Creator Spotlight. And he's teaching people how to reconnect. This is the fun about live content, you guys, where you're seeing one thing, I'm seeing another thing. But Carl Dunn, Jimmy, I love it. He is all about doing the work. Through his writing, his emotions diary practice, and his award-winning book, How to Burn a Rainbow. Guys, if you see my face right now, I'm like calling out one thing and Jimmy's throwing something else up, and I'm like, ah! And I can see Jimmy going, ah! Carl is giving people tools to bridge the gaps in their own lives. Hey, the next creator we're celebrating is Charles Wallace. So Charles, meet Carl. Carl, meet Charles. Because before we can undivide the world, Jimmy, we just created something here. Carl is and the other dude, they're going to be connecting. So that's just how it's all going to work. If you're tired of the chaos, the conflict, there's Carl right there. If you're tired of the chaos, the conflict, the endless cycle of us versus them, Carl is proof that another way is possible. Here's the question, nation. Are you ready to start undividing? Business Athlete Nation, are you ready to start undividing? Because if you are, I invite you to check out, not the other dude. No, we're going to get to the other dude in a second. I invite you to check out Carl Dunn's Substack, Undividing. Check out his content. This guy's been 25 years across a few different continents, 5 to be exact. Guys, firsthand, how much we have in common. Check out his content. You're going to enjoy it. He's all about bringing people together. Yes. All right, Jim, let's get to the other one this morning. Let's get to the other one this morning. I'm going to pull up this other guy here. We have another celebration we're going to get after on the show here this morning. And we all know who this one is, but I'm going to create the content because he doesn't know we're going to celebrate him. But most people stay stuck. Yep. They tell themselves maybe someday, oh, baby, Jimmy. There's that word, the new word in the dictionary in the week called someday. Yeah, you got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And there's been a new word introduced. It's called someday. And for the people in life that can't get their shit sorted out, they use someday quite often. Someday I'll do this. Someday I'll work out. Someday I'm going to go to the store. Someday I'm going to have sex with my wife. Really? Nah, you got to pick a specific day. But anyways, someday they'll get in shape. Someday they'll make a change. Someday they'll take control. But here's what I've learned, boys. Someday never comes. Yeah, it just doesn't come, you know. Someday don't come. No, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they all come, but someday never come. No, Charles Wallace, yes, baby. He knows that because he's been there. So, Jimmy, let's put it up here, brother. This morning, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends is celebrating somebody on LinkedIn. Not Carl Dunn. Nope, Charles Wallace. Yeah, he looked in the mirror. He didn't recognize himself. No, baby. He was like me. He was getting husky. He was overweight. He was exhausted. He was numb. I'm not talking Lincoln Park numb. No, he was fucking numb. He was waiting for change instead of creating it. Then one day, not someday, boys, one day he made a decision. No more waiting. No more excuses. Dude, the guy dropped over 100 pounds, Jimmy. 100 fucking pounds. Not 10 pounds, not 20 pounds, not 100 pounds. Yeah. He rebuilt his mindset from the ground up. He sure did. He took his life back, and now he's helping others do the same, which is why he created the Bare Essentials podcast. No fluff, no nonsense, no bullshit, no fake motivation. What is this? Mornings in a Lab show? What the hell is this? Oh, wait a minute. Just real raw conversations about struggle, resilience, and what it actually takes to transform. And I'm sorry, guys, it's a podcast. So, we do live content. Charles, dude, you're working in the past, man, because Charles isn't here to sell you a highlight reel, baby. No. Charles is here to show you the fight, the moments of doubt, the setbacks, the failures, the real work behind real change. That's what makes Charles different. That's why his story hits different. He's just not another guy preaching from the mountaintop. He climbed that mountain himself. The guy lost 100 pounds, and he's here to tell you how. He's here to tell you guys that you can do it too. So I invite you to check out Charles Wallace over on LinkedIn. Check out his content. If you're looking for somebody to help you get to that next level, he's the dude to help you if we can't. Yeah, true story. There you go. There's the Creator Spotlight. Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. We did them back to back here today. We got a couple of them up there. A lot of fun here, man. I love doing shit live because that's what reality is. Reality is life. Reality is live. I was looking at left. Jimmy was looking at right. And then you guys saw the center. But hey, we brought it together. And guess what? It all worked out. Guess what? It all worked out. So those of you that are stressing about the presentation today or the sales stuff today or whatever you're working on, come on. It ain't that bad. Shit will sort itself out. Okay. Well, listen. Woo, baby. I feel like I've been talking for a long time, Jimmy. What a good show. Hope you guys enjoyed the show as much as I did here today. Can you tell? Can you tell I had fun? Just a little bit? Just a smidgen? I'm going to tell you why. Because everything is just set up wonderfully here today. I got the screen here going well. Got the screen here going well. Got the screen over there. Got the screen over here going over there. Melissa, rocking and rolling, get me all prepped up. Thank you, Melissa. Awesome. Appreciate you. Jimmy, making sure we're rocking and rolling here today. I appreciate you too, Jimmy. Tommy. Jimmy, do we appreciate Tommy? The hell with Tommy. Rahima, I appreciate you. I love all the work you helped me with here on the show, Rahima. You're awesome. Oh, yeah, Tommy. I forgot about Tommy. Jimmy, if we can't throw Tommy under the bus, who are we going to throw? Because, is Tommy even tuning in right now? Is he on the comments? I think he is. We love Tommy. Tommy, brother, I appreciate you, man. Guys, if you want to know who's creating some of this great content in the shorts, who's creating some of the great visual content, his name's Walter Thomas. He joined me a few months back, a number of months back. The guy is becoming an AI wizard, creating some awesome content. Jimmy, I don't know if Tommy's the best, though. Do we want to make him the best? We'll give him that credit. Yeah, Tommy's the best. Yeah. We'll arm wrestle Melissa for the best. All right. Good time. What's shaking, brother? Good to see you this morning. Good to have you here on the show. Yes, that's me, says Tommy. Nation, I'm going to tell you something. I have never met a more enthusiastic human being than Walter Thomas. Yep. True story. You guys want to get moving? You just got to hang out with Walter Thomas for a second, and he'll keep you honest. Jimmy and I laugh because the guy is moving 1 million miles a second, and the second turns into a millisecond, and it never ends. The guy is and Jimmy, you're right, which is killing us. Yeah, Tommy is going faster than Keith and Jimmy, but he keeps us in check. So, all right, guys, we're going to rock and roll out of here. We're wrapping the show up here today. On behalf of all the wonderful guests, what a fun show today. Vern Shurd was here today. We had Rick Clota joining us in the comments this morning. We had Adam Holroyd joining us in the comments. Martin, thanks for hanging out this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. Listen, we're back here in less than 24 hours for the morning loop, the first 15 unpredictable minutes. How does it work? I find conversations and content from all over the interwebs. Listen, big announcement tonight on X. They're launching Grok 3. I'm tuning in. So you can expect I'm talking about it tomorrow. I'm eager to learn all about it. Yep. No, hey, next Friday, we're doing our first lab sessions. Not a masterclass that it's a masterclass. Yep. Again, guys, we're adding value, behind the scenes value. You guys want to learn stuff? Come hang out with me behind the scenes. We're going to special guests teaching you things you can't get elsewhere, calling lab sessions. That information is going to be inside the lab, inside.bapl.ai. So listen, on behalf of myself, I'm that guy. I'm not Marshall Mathers. No, I'm Keith Phillips. And on behalf of that guy over there, Christopher Martin, see Marty Fit. And on behalf of that dude over there, John Andersen, he's busy picking shit up and putting it down. I'm the host, I'm Keith. I'm back in 24 hours. On behalf of Jimmy, and our friend Walter, Melissa, Rahima, and the whole gang here at the Mornings in the Lab. We'll see you guys tomorrow. 8 o'clock Eastern time. LinkedIn, YouTube, X. Jimmy, let's get out of here. We'll see you guys tomorrow.